This is the Weather Xtreme video, the morning edition for Wednesday, December 23rd. I'm James Spann. Obviously, there is high interest in the weather across Alabama in the Deep South today, tonight, and tomorrow, with the potential for a high-impact severe weather event for parts of the state, record warmth Christmas Day, a chance of more strong storms late Sunday night or Monday morning of next week, and there is so much to discuss, so just sit back, relax, and let's talk about this. As we often do here, that's the big picture. This is the synoptic scale look at the weather across the continental United States. There is a very dynamic trough approaching from the west that is going negative tilt. A strong subtropical jet stream in play, pushing a deep moisture pool up into the eastern part of the United States. And it is very mild to start the day. Birmingham at 65. That's about 10 degrees warmer than the average high for this date. We'll expect to see a high up in the low 70s today, maybe mid-70s in spots. We do note there is convection to the south, but that will be waning this morning. A big storm passing through Mobile Bay, a big storm off the Mississippi coast. But if you further expand that back to the west, you can see that there's nothing happening over the Louisiana coast. There is a tornado watch in effect for the Arklatex early this morning. That's set to expire about the time you watch this. We'll see if they expand that. They probably will, or extend that eastward. But that includes Texarkana, Shreveport, Tyler, Longview, El Dorado. All right, now let me just show you this big map if you're traveling, and so many of you are today. We've got flash flood watches in effect for southeast Alabama, down around Dothan, and then up through parts of Georgia, the Carolinas, and the western part of Virginia. Got fog problems up in the northeast United States, those counties in gray. Cold and snow in the west, winter storm warnings for parts of Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and even farther west, the mountains of Nevada, California. That's where the cold and snow is going to be this year at Christmas. Obviously, convective outlooks are of great interest, and this is the day one outlook. And again, travelers, that's the big picture. There's a marginal risk all the way from the Gulf Coast up to upper Michigan. The standard slight risk has been pulled as far north as Chicago and Grand Rapids. That slight risk runs down to far south Mississippi and South Alabama. And the enhanced risk, and that's where there could be a few strong tornadoes. That includes places like Memphis, Huntsville, Birmingham, Louisville, almost up to Cincinnati. Now, this is the Alabama look, the close-up look at this thing. And again, I encourage you not to get hung up in these lines and colors and terms. Unfortunately, the Weather Enterprise is not doing a good job of showing you a unified message. We use the Storm Prediction Center. These guys are good. This is their standard. And you can see that the marginal risk covers all 67 Alabama counties. Down in southeast Alabama, Troy, Eufaula, Dothan, Andalusia. The standard risk is the slight risk. That's the yellow. And that includes Tuscaloosa and Anniston, Gadsden, Talladega, Montgomery. The higher enhanced risk is basically for Birmingham north and west. And tornadoes and severe storms, they don't know lines. They don't know colors. They don't know these words. Weather's going to do what it's going to do. This is just a guideline. But the higher chance of a strong tornado, that's EF3 or higher, is going to be up in that enhanced zone. But please understand, if you're in that yellow strip, the slight risk, you could see a severe storm with a tornado or damaging straight-line winds. And even in the marginal risk, if you're in Dothan or Ozark or Troy or Eufaula, you have some risk of severe weather. It's just not as great there. These are the tornado probabilities. And that hatched area, that's where the guys at SPC thinks the really core risk of strong, violent tornadoes will be. And that's around Memphis. But again, clearly, we have the risk of a few strong tornadoes in north and west Alabama. This is the chance of damaging straight-line winds, the chance of that within 25 miles of a given point. And we'll talk much more about this as we go through the dailies. We'll talk about the timing and everything else. Now, understand tomorrow, I want to be sure you understand this, there is a marginal risk statewide, all 67 counties, and a marginal severe weather risk on Christmas Eve. And again, I'll tell you what you can expect as we go through the dailies here. And then on day 3, this is Christmas Day. There is a marginal risk of severe weather for Dallas-Fort Worth, up towards Sallisaw, Oklahoma, Texarkana. Some thunder possible here, but no severe weather in our state on Christmas Day. And then let's go to day 5. This is Sunday. There is a risk of severe weather for parts of southeastern Texas, Louisiana, and far southwest Arkansas. And the question is, will we have a severe weather threat into late Sunday night or Monday morning of next week? And that remains to be seen. It's too hard to call at this point. Rain for the next 5 days, valid through Monday morning. In Alabama, the heavier totals over the Tennessee Valley and way down south. This is showing a minimum across central Alabama and some huge numbers over parts of Oklahoma and Missouri. And let me say this now, there's going to be a big post-Christmas snowstorm for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and points north. And again, we'll talk about that in the dailies because so many people are traveling and going different places. I promise we'll answer all your questions if you just strap in here. So here we go. This is today at noon. The Global Forecast System, the GFS model. This is the prime American global model. Strong troughing to the west that's gone negative tilt. Down below that, there is a strong surface low, 983 millibars north of Kansas City. And, of course, south and east of that, that's the warm sector, and we're clearly in that. This is the instability, the CAPE. CAPE stands for convective available potential energy. This is the buoyancy of the air, and you need that for severe weather, and there's plenty of that. Those numbers are very robust for right before Christmas. Instability values exceed 2,500 joules over southwest Alabama. And understand that those, anything over a couple of hundred will get severe storms going this time of the year. And that instability extends as far north as Chicago. And the dew points will be surging up to near 70 in parts of South Alabama today. So this is what the HRRR model suggests the radar will look like this evening at 6 o'clock. A couple of things to note. The storms in the Gulf Coast, they're gone. Out of here. There's nothing to block the inflow. Number two, the storms are cellular. They are not linear. There's no line. And you can see at that point, and please understand, too, the radar's not going to look exactly like that. There's no way you can resolve specific storm locations, 12 hours in advance. We can't do that. But this is suggesting we could see supercell storms over northwest Alabama, north Mississippi, and parts of Tennessee. And any of those could be in rotation. Initially, the main threat this afternoon is going to be over northwest Alabama, slowly shifting eastward with time. So let's look at these severe weather parameters. First off, this is the bulk shear between 0 and 1 kilometers down there in the lowest level. These numbers are very high. Where you see the shades of yellow, that's in excess of 55 knots. That will clearly get storms rotating and set up the tornado potential. And this is the significant tornado parameter valid at 6 o'clock this evening. And those numbers, again, are very robust over, west of Interstate 65. So there is great concern that we could see a strong tornado in that zone this evening. Now, thankfully, the sun goes down, but really that doesn't matter, and that's another problem. This is going to be stuff in the dark. You're not going to be able to see, the tower cams and the live streams. We'll have all that, but it's hard to show these things in the dark, and you're just going to have to trust us tonight. We know that people react when they see live streams on television. Sometimes they don't do anything when we're using radar or just talking about it, but you'll just have to trust us. This is the significant tornado parameter at midnight. Thankfully, the numbers are coming down. The air a little more stable, but please, those numbers are in excess of 3 near Birmingham at midnight tonight. And this is what the radar should look like approximately at midnight tonight. And again, there is no line. Those are cellular supercell type storms. And any of those could be tornadic that you see there. And this is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. It keeps on going. We've still got it. They're trying to get into a line, but they really don't. And then this is noon tomorrow, and goodness, we still have these cellular storms. That's why we've opened up a larger window, and I think we'll have to expand it beyond 18 hours. And I think we're going to have to go almost 24 hours now and say from 3 o'clock this afternoon until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And that's not to say we're going to have a storm at your house for 24 hours. You won't. But at any time in that 24-hour time frame, there could be a severe storm. Now, this is the significant tornado parameter at noon tomorrow. Of course, the numbers keep coming down, but understand that is significant south of Interstate 59. So while the storms tomorrow, with the main dynamic support lifting away, the main threat would be from strong straight-line winds. There might be an isolated tornado tomorrow, and this is Christmas Eve. There's the synoptic look. And again, you can see the main surface low is around Hudson Bay in Canada. But again, we'll be watching for severe weather. Now, Christmas Day, we don't expect any severe weather. The surface boundary stalls out near the Tennessee border, and it starts to lift northward. And, of course, the other headline here is potential for record warmth. Mid-70s are likely. Maybe upper 70s in a few spots. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And, of course, the record high for Christmas Eve tomorrow, 77, set in 1964. And I actually do remember that as a child. And the record high for Christmas Day is 74. I think that we got a chance of breaking that thing. So, again, no all-day rain, but clearly a chance of showers on Christmas. These are potential record highs, those circles on Christmas Day. And you can see 75. These are forecast highs from the Weather Service. 75 at Birmingham and Huntsville. Those would be records if we hit those. And look at South Carolina with some 80s over there. Wow. Looking for snow cover on Christmas. Those nice, pretty colors, that's where you'll find it. Up north and out west, but not in the east. The El Nino blowtorch taking care of that. Now, Saturday, cold Arctic air dives southward. We got a winter storm brewing west of the state. Now, Saturday for us is going to be warm, maybe a few scattered showers, but nothing too widespread. But look at that storm Sunday. Wow. Surface low near Houston. Big snows in West Texas. Nasty-looking ice, snow in Oklahoma City. And big rains in advance of the ice and snow. Now, for us, Sunday, the bulk of the day, I think, will be just warm and showery, nothing too heavy. But late Sunday night and Monday morning, things could get active. Now, this is Monday at midday. The surface low moves from Houston to near Paducah, Kentucky, with thunderstorms moving down through here. And the question is, could we see severe weather? We might. We don't know that yet. We've got to get through this short-term event before we can focus on this one. But you can see that there is a good bit of instability. Those Cape numbers exceed 1,500 joules. So, again, we'll be monitoring for strong storms late Sunday night into Monday of next week. And look at the snow this thing puts down. Goodness gracious. West Texas, up into parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, the northern half of Missouri, buried. And if this thing verifies, we could see some snow amounts close to 2 feet south of Oklahoma City. So, again, travelers beware. That is a post-Christmas snowstorm. And then Tuesday of next week, finally, that's out of here. Things get nice and quiet, and this is Wednesday, a week from today. Another trough in the west. We are dry and pleasant. Here's the end of the forecast period, January 1st, 2016. The heights are coming down in the east, and that's a cool, dry air mass. And look at the numbers come down. If you don't like warm weather here at this time of the year, your time is coming. You can see by the new year, highs drop in the 40s and lows will be down around freezing by then. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. I probably won't be able to do one this afternoon as we focus into severe weather coverage then, but of course we'll be on ABC 3340 television and the live stream for weather coverage throughout this afternoon and tonight, so stay with us there. And of course, check the blog for frequent updates, AlabamaWX.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and God bless.